Welcome back, everyone. I hope you are all keeping well. It's me, Cal, your personal pocket-sized lawyer, and today I'm teaching you how to avoid the most dangerous legal mistakes as a content creator and protect your channel. So let's get straight into it. Now, there are a lot of new YouTubers and content creators out there who are finding themselves cancelled, fined, shadow banned, or facing some form of legal action against their content right now. In fact, the sources I was reading in preparation for this video were suggesting that nearly 1 in 4 content creators have faced lawsuits or their platforms cancelled because, well, to put it simply, they thought they could ignore the basic rules. And as a YouTuber myself for less than a year, I've learned that there are rules to this game, guys, and there are punishments for breaking those rules that, trust me, you will want to avoid. Some platforms have zero tolerance for certain infractions. Strikes against your record as a creator can be really hard to recover from and can cost your channel everything. But look, doing it legally, actually really not that difficult, guys. As a lawyer who understands intellectual property very well, I can tell you that the rules really aren't that complex, guys. I see so many people making videos about this so much more complex than it has to be, and it's not necessary, which is why in just the next 9 minutes, guys, I'm going to teach you the biggest and most common legal mistakes that content creators make and how to avoid them, whether you are a vlogger or a podcaster, social media influencer, or educational creator like myself. You'll know exactly what pitfalls you need to avoid: copyright infringement, defamation, advertising pitfalls, contract mistakes. And in the second part of the video, I'll teach you how to protect yourself from liability and also how to safeguard all of your creative work. So if you're ready, let's get straight into it. Now, since many of you watching may still be on the fence about whether this applies to you or not, or whether this is important for you, then let me start with exactly that. So look, guys, in this digital age, content creation has become one of the most influential ways to reach an audience, right? But with great influence comes great responsibility. Being online means that you're constantly in the public eye, and even small missteps can lead to big legal challenges because, well, everyone will be watching you. Your mistakes can affect people's reputations and their businesses very easily. There are so many pitfalls that you can fall into inadvertently, and you don't get taught about them, do you? There's no legal coach until now who guides you through what to look out for, such as using copyrighted material, what you can and cannot say online, illegal advertising. There are a multitude of pitfalls out there. Okay, so now you've been warned though, guys, and you understand its importance. Let's now look at the most common legal mistakes new content creators make and how to avoid them. Now, the first one I need to explain to you guys is copyright infringement, something many platforms have zero tolerance policies of, right? One of the biggest risks creators face is copyright infringement. Now, many of us use snippets of music or of images or video clips to enhance our content without checking they're properly licensed. That's a very common thing for people to do. Whether it's a 5-second clip from a movie or a popular song in the background of your video, even a small unauthorized use, guys, can lead to serious legal issues. Here in the UK, copyright law is quite strict, and even brief unauthorized uses can lead to legal claims and hefty fines. Even if you believe that your usage is minimal, right? The courts could disagree with you if the original copyright owner can show that your work has harmed their market, right? Now, I've seen cases where creators had to remove entire videos because they assumed short clips were free to use. So here's your action point, guys. Here's what to do. Always double check licensing agreements, use royalty-free resources, or obtain the necessary permissions before including any third-party content in your work. If you're uncertain about whether your use qualifies as fair use, then it's best to double check or seek legal advice on it. Now, guys, the next legal mistake a lot of creators make, especially bloggers, podcasters, video commentators, etc., is defamation. You can see this everywhere, guys, whether it's from a blog post or a video comment or an online review saying something false, even inadvertently false, about someone that actually damages their reputation can be considered defamatory, for which you can be sued for. And believe me, from my experience, when I say if it does cause harm to people's reputation, people do sue for it. It happens. Even if it's just an innocent comment that you make on a podcast that could be slander, or if it's a tweet asserting a fact about someone's private life that's false, that's also called libel, and you could be sued for these. Okay, so what can you do about it? How can you prevent this happening to you? Always ensure that the statements you make online or on your channel about someone else or their business or their reputation is based on verifiable facts. If you're offering opinions, clearly state that they are opinions, clearly state that they are subjective views. Make sure that you state that and not facts. Avoid making unverified claims, especially if you're discussing individuals or competitors. That's another common one. If they can prove that you've tangibly harmed them, they can sue you. It happens. Now, in the US, from my US viewers, the burden of proof for defamation is slightly harder than the UK, so the UK creators will need to be extra cautious when saying things online. Now, another area I see content creators falling into is trouble with advertising and making endorsements on their channels. This is really important, guys. Pay attention. So when you partner with brands, which many of you may be looking to do soon if you aren't already, then transparency with your audience is not just courteous, it is legal. It is a legal requirement. Under UK advertising regulations, you must disclose your sponsorships or endorsements that you make. So if you receive payments or free products to promote something, the law requires you to clearly disclose that relationship. The Advertising Standards Authority in the UK and the FTC in the US take this very, very seriously, and failing to disclose sponsorships can result in hefty fines and reputational damage. You can read many stories of influencers losing lucrative deals with sponsors and losing the trust of their followers online if you want to. It's all there. So what to do about it? Well, number one, always include clear disclosures in your videos or in your descriptions, or use on-screen graphics like hashtags, say ad or sponsored or something, so that everyone knows when you're being paid to promote something. Right, guys, now this next tip is crucial. For those of you who stayed till now, well done. This is a very important tip. The previous ones you may or may not already have been familiar with, but this is where you see a lot of new content creators really suffer, and that is with their contracts, okay? So creators enter into contracts all the time, don't they? Whether it's signing contracts with brands or with agencies, or whether it's signing up with freelancers, social media managers, loads of them, or video editors like what I use. But overlooking the details of those contracts can be disastrous. It can be disastrous because many creators end up in disputes or even deep litigation over ambiguous terms in their contracts, such as payments and content ownership, scopes of work, termination, etc. So here is a really key tip for you guys. Listen very closely when I tell you this. Even a simple misinterpretation can lead to a big dispute. It's better to ask questions up front or negotiate challenges than to face a legal battle later on. So here's what you need to do. Before you sign anything, read through your contracts carefully. If any clause is unclear, then get a professional to explain it, especially if it's an important clause or important contract. It is necessary to understand your rights regarding content ownership and revenue sharing. Speak to a lawyer about those clauses, because if the contract is a very important one, as I said. In fact, guys, I'm going to make it so much easier for you. As a lawyer for over 10 years, I've created a simple and concise 9-minute video purely on that topic, purely on this topic of what to look out for before signing any contract. This will set you up so well in life, I promise you. Go take a look here. It's just one click away and linked in the description below. So the next common pitfall then for creators is data breaches. Now, there have been many instances where creators have inadvertently published personal data, leading to privacy breaches and potential legal claims. Accidentally sharing identifiable details about someone in a post, or unblurred faces in public settings, or even behind the scenes footage in a private setting that involves other people who have not consented to it, that can quickly become a nightmare for content creators. So here is what you need to do about it. Always obtain consent before using someone's personal information. Very simple, very important. If you're featuring people or sensitive data, consider using anonymization techniques like blurring people's faces if you have to, or altering identifiable features, and be mindful of the information that you share with in your online posts. And if you're doing this all the time, maybe if your channel starts to get really big, then you should familiarize yourself with the basics of the Data Protection Act and GDPR compliance. Now, guys, the final and one of the most common pitfalls I see creators falling into a lot, and one of the most harmful, is failing to register their trademarks or copyright ownership. Guys, this is really important. Please pay attention. Many creators don't realize that their brands and their logos, or even certain phrases, can be protected under trademark or copyright law. It can. So here's what you need to do. If you've built a strong brand online, this mainly probably applies to people who have, it might be worth investing in trademark protection. This not only protects you from potential infringement by others, but also adds value to your business. So as a practical tip, I would suggest personally, if you've built up a big brand by now and put a lot into it, speak with a legal professional to assess which aspects of your creative output need to be protected, and then take the necessary steps to register them. All right, so with that out of the way, by now you should know all of the most common pitfalls as a content creator. You need to be alert to these guys. So if you take the preventative or proactive measures that I have taught you guys, then you will be fine. Okay, guys, here in this final part, we're going to look at exactly how you can protect yourself from liability in the future and make sure that you never land in any legal trouble. All right, so let's take a look at the first practical tip for people, which I think must be to protect your personal liability. And to do that, we must set up a limited liability company. Now, many content creators consider setting up a limited company as a way to protect their personal assets from their business liabilities, right? So what they do is they form a limited company, which offers a layer of protection as it separates your personal assets from your business liabilities. However, it comes with its own legal and administrative responsibilities, such as filing annual accounts and complying with company law. So for content creators who earn a good income, incorporating can be a smart move to mitigate any financial risk and benefit from tax efficiencies, guys. There are huge tax advantages to limited liability companies, and you can expense many things, such as your home office studio, for example. Now, for those just starting out as a content creator, perhaps with very little stake in the game at this point, then the administrative burden might outweigh the benefits until your earnings justify it. It can be a lot of effort depending on your business activities, but your accountant, to be honest with you, can do most of the work for you, and I still think it's worth it. Now, that leads us to our second preventative action, which is to educate yourself continuously. Regularly read up on copyright, defamation, advertising regulations, etc. The legal landscape changes all the time, guys, so staying updated is key. Subscribe to my channel for all new updates on the law as well. The third preventative measure is to get professional help. So before signing contracts or making major decisions, consult with a lawyer who specializes in media or entertainment law. It is worth the money if it means protecting your very, very valuable businesses. Look, guys, I really want to hear from you on this topic. I want to know your stories and your experiences with this stuff. What legal issues have you faced most as a new content creator or as an experienced content creator? How did you resolve it? Let's get a discussion going down in the comments. Also, if you've liked or learned or taken anything of value from this video that I've made for you, please don't forget to subscribe. And remember, this content is purely educational. It's not a substitute for personalized legal advice. That said, I'll see you in the next video.